Hey guys, this is Courtney, and today I wanted to give an announcement that I am going to be rebranding my channel name and my whole brand, website, all of that to Cosmic Clarity Astrology. So make sure that you guys go ahead and write that down, save that information in case you ever do search for my channel and can't find it no longer under this name. So today's video, we're going to be talking about the Jupiter Uranus Conjunction, and that's happening on April 20th in the sign of Taurus at 21 degrees. This is a rare transit that happens around roughly every 14 years, and it is one of the most significant events that's happening in 2024 that astrologers are looking forward to. This is really exciting because both Jupiter and Uranus can have positive energies. Jupiter especially. Uranus is a little bit of a wild card. So when they come together, these slow planets that really do affect kind of the way our society functions, when they finally come together and unite, they almost have a little rendezvous and give us the potential to have some kind of breakthrough or timeline jump essentially in this lifetime. So I see this almost as like a quantum leap, a breakthrough, a time of hope and prosperity and progress and reinvention or simply invention into something new. And so this is a really exciting time. And we're going to go over what this is going to look like for all of the rising signs. What I'm getting or what I'm going to be predicting for you guys is what you're going to be blessed with or what the breakthrough is going to be for you happening in April. It's very likely that we're already starting to kind of feel some of these energies shifting and these storylines lining up so that throughout the month of April, this energy becomes more obvious, more potent. And you might see something significant happen in the month of April, especially if you have any angles, most likely the angular houses. So like the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house cusps around 21 degrees. Or if you have especially Taurus 21 degrees, which is where this is happening, or the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you're going to feel this really significantly. And then you'll also still feel it if you have that also. Planets also around 21 degrees of earth or water signs. So those are who it's going to be really impacting the most. If it's not hitting anything in your chart at all, then maybe you won't really get a huge jolt or a huge breakthrough. Maybe you're doing just fine, or maybe it's just not your time for that. And then others are going to notice a really significant shift. But as a society, as a whole, we can start to see things progress, but it's usually something that we can most clearly see retroactively. So once we've kind of passed this point in time, years later, we can look back and see, oh, that is a turning point for us. That was marking this time in history, or there was some sort of advancement that was heralding a new chapter into our lives as a collective or even in our personal lives. So it's a really, really exciting time. Jupiter is the great benefic. It's the bringer of blessings and children and abundance, and it's a very social planet as well. So it has sorry, I just saw my cat walk outside. So it has a lot of potential to bring in new relationships and connections and opportunities. And then Uranus is a planet of innovation, of progress, a little bit of rebellion as well, change, surprise, technology. And both of them tend to bring a lot of clarity, a lot of wisdom, and the potential for great healing. So I'm excited to see how this can impact us on a more personal scale. But before we do that or talk about each sign, we're going to jump into first discussing what this has looked like in the past, and then maybe get like a really quick overview of what this could look like for the collective. So the last time Jupiter and Uranus came together was in January 2001, really early in January. So it's really something that you would have felt in December and the first week of January. So these planets came together in the sign of Pisces. And during this period of time, we had SpaceX become the first privately owned company to launch, orbit, and recover a spacecraft. So this is extremely Uranian, and obviously Jupiter is also about things progressing and moving forward, more so from a place of personal growth, societal growth, internal expansion as well as spiritual expansion. But and also Jupiter has a very strong link with things that are foreign. So bringing various elements together. And Uranus also has this type of quality where we are kind of bridging different types of maybe technologies or fields and kind of melding them together and creating something new and unique. And so we can see a lot of unique advancements through the coming together of these two planets. So we could see here that obviously this had a lot to deal with things progressing in terms of leaving this world, which I love that because it feels very kind of Aquarian and Pisces in nature, that there's a technological advancement that quite literally has us leave Earth, which I think is super cool. Also during this Jupiter Uranus conjunction in 2011, we had Obama repeal a policy that banned people who are gay from openly saying they were gay or joining the military under that pretense or something of that nature. So I'm probably not wording that correctly, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. So obviously this is very much a Piscean theme and also Aquarius. We can really see the blend of the two because Uranus is there, but we can really see how people who were previously considered underdogs are getting some kind of breakthrough. And that's common with Jupiter and Uranus. We can see reversals of roles and fortunes. So people, especially who were winning and who had the upper hand, but who were not good or it was outdated or it was wrong, we can see those things start to have a little bit of a shift happen with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And I think that's really even more emphasized because Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius, the sign of the people, we are really in an age or an era where the emphasis is on the collective and the individual, the layperson, and not the governmental forces. And so it's a time of empowering each person and fighting for our own unique rights. And so we can start to see how maybe some power can shift into the hands of the people, especially healers, because Jupiter and Uranus together are both very spiritual planets. And so not only are we more adept at healing things that we might be stuck in terms of cyclical patterns and things that have been just feeling like we cannot get out of them. Uranus and Jupiter together can really, again, jump this timeline. It can get us out of some cycle of suffering. It can help us see things from a higher perspective, give us solutions to existing problems. It can give us this higher level awareness that our human brain doesn't have access to on an ordinary level or on an ordinary day. So it's really an opportunity for us to open up to extra senses. We might feel quite literally more sensitive during this time, and the information that comes to us should really be noted because it is significant for the path forward. The previous time that Jupiter and Uranus came together in the same sign as Taurus was in May of 1941, and during this period of time was kind of in the middle of World War II. Nazi Germany was at its height. There was a lot going on in terms of violence and oppression. And during this period of time, May in particular, the British, I don't know what you would call them, government, elected Winston Churchill. And he became the person who a few years later finally led to the demise of the war and of the Axis powers and Nazi Germany in 1945. So basically, the person who helped reverse the roles of power at that period of time, who helped end the war that was obviously horrible, and I think you can again see here how like the good wins. So it's like the evil was winning at that time, but when Winston was elected, when things basically set into motion for there to be a reversal of power, was the same time Jupiter and Uranus came together. So I think that's very fascinating how these things happen. And so I think that also really goes to show that whatever happens this month is not necessarily going to be an immediate resolution of something. We can feel like we have a breakthrough. We can have this really important piece click into place. But again, we often won't see how that is so significant until we look back on this period of time retroactively, and we can see, okay, yeah, that was the moment in time where I made this different choice, or I had this new perspective that once I followed that path led me to a completely different reality. That timeline jump, that reversal of roles, that reversal of fortune, and enhanced my life to a really significant degree, or made a really noticeable difference in my life where a chapter was almost turned, but in a positive way, a resolution of something in a positive way. So it's really important right now not to put too much pressure on this period of time of seeing these amazing blessings and results, because those could take time to unfold, but those really important characters or pieces of the puzzle will click in together during this period of time when the Jupiter and Uranus come together in our chart. One other thing I think is important to note is that sometimes we also can't fully understand how significant this is for ourselves, but even more so from other people looking at our own lives. So we might, let me give you an example. So also when Jupiter and Uranus came together in Taurus, during this period of time in May 1941, the world's first programmable automatic computer was invented, which obviously sets the stage for this huge technological boom that we have had later, even more so now with Pluto and Aquarius. I think that's something that we can really get a sense of in this period of time. In April, there's probably going to be some technological advancements, maybe with AI or something else, where that sets the precedent for something much bigger later down the line. But there's going to be people who don't get it when it first comes out. Like when that computer first arrived, maybe there are people who didn't understand the purpose. This was 1941. This is a long time ago. So I don't know what level of technology people were aware of at that time, or what they thought it would be used for, if they even knew it existed. So there's a lot that I feel like could be shifting for us, even as a collective, but in our personal lives as well, where things that we have this guided intuition to do or to follow, it's so outside the box, it's so progressive, it's so ahead of its time that it's more likely to not be well received, or to be misunderstood, or even just kind of downplayed before it reaches its full pinnacle of success. And then people years from now will see how significant that thing really was. And I think that we can see that also with the example of Winston Churchill. He was elected during that period of time, or he was, moved into office or voted for at that period of time when that conjunction took place. But I don't know if anyone really knew that he was going to be kind of that big turning point in the war, for example, or that really significant player in the ending of a massive cycle of despair and destruction. So we can see how these things set into place now, but aren't always fully understood. So just really keep that in mind. So during these Jupiter-Uranus conjunctions, we can typically expect to have some kind of idea come through for us that we can bring to fruition. And that means that, again, the idea doesn't mean that the whole thing is completed. The results are not always here right away, although sometimes they will be. If you've been having an existing problem, you can come up with really powerful solutions to that problem, and you can have, again, some kind of turning point, especially in concerns with Taurus themed topics. So we're going to talk about that for each sign, because it's going to depend on what house you have Taurus in, the kind of problems or breakthrough or gift or blessing you could have as a result of these downloads or changes that you make in your life. But also, just talking about Taurus themes in general, this is very much related to the material world. This is related to our financial security, the kind of food that we eat, the cattle that we have on this earth, the nature itself, our clothes, our sense of security, our sense of stability, our sense of independence as well, being able to truly be autonomous in every sense of the word, our sense of worth and value, and the feeling of what we bring to the table, and our own kind of inner resolution to be consistent or work hard or see things through and have positive results with things. So all of those are very Taurus topics. And so we can see that these this Jupiter Uranus conjunction can have some kind of breakthrough or shift concerning the material world or concerning those things that I just mentioned. One of the things that I think is really important with something like this is that we need to be aware of how impulsive an energy like this can be. So there are lots of benefits to this. This is a time of blessings, of breakthrough, of radical shifts that can really enhance our lives. But also sometimes what happens with the exuberance of Jupiter and the progressive, rebellious nature of Uranus, when they come together, they can sometimes not really see how they have maybe blind faith and optimism in the value of change and revolution, because that can be helpful, yes, of course, but also there can be an element of throwing everything out, the baby out with the bathwater, when there are things that are actually functioning and maybe just need revision, when there's wisdom from the past that we need to carry forward, but instead they're just rooting for what is new and progressive. So we really need to keep our heads kind of balanced and look at things through an unbiased perspective while still having faith and optimism. So can we look at the facts? Can we look at the data while still believing that there is a higher possibility and potential, but not getting so blinded by our faith that we refuse to acknowledge, real issues, or refuse to look at the entire equation and be truthful and honest with ourselves and others. Another aspect of this is that we can sometimes get a little bit overzealous and overcommit ourselves. We can scatter ourselves. We can not really have a necessary focus on this energy, which is interesting because it is in Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign, which tends to be very focused, very kind of committed to a particular vision or habit or way of being, so much so that they can almost have trouble, being too stagnant, or not stagnant necessarily, but like unwilling to change when it's required, unwilling to adapt. So this energy helps shake that up. It helps us adapt. But also, I think that this balance could be helpful because it could help maybe kind of focus these two planets, but that is a little bit of a risk where we might kind of scatter our focus, energy, attention, our money, our resources, and we could come to later regret that. So just being aware that change comes at a cost. Saying yes to something means saying no to something. Looking at the entire picture of things and being willing to listen to yourself with logic. So I think that's super, super important. I think this also has a very creative and imaginative energy, which is something I really love because it helps us tap into our higher mind, our higher consciousness, our higher self, so that we can reinvent or reset or renew something in our life. So this could look like revamping something old or starting something new, but that still reinvigorates us. So there's this energy of something coming back to life, especially in the house that this conjunction is happening in for you. So I think that's all I want to say about the general energy of this conjunction. Let's go ahead and jump into what this is going to look like for all the rising signs. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to comment and like this video, share with your friends so that we can get my channel out there. And I appreciate you guys so much. All right, up next we have Sagittarius rising and sun. For you guys, this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction that is quite rare is happening in your 6th house on April 20th. Really a big deal for you guys, for everybody, and I just want you to watch the overview if you haven't already. There's a lot of important information about this, but we're going to go into your specific sign now. So we're going to talk about what breakthroughs, what timeline jumps, what gifts you are getting as a result of this really major transit that all astrologers are talking about this year. And it's really interesting because I just pulled 2 cards that are really relevant to your subconscious mind. I got the 7 of Cups and then the Moon in reverse. So I'm really getting the sense that you guys have maybe been getting a lot of information through your dreams. If you haven't already, definitely take note of your dreams. I say that for all the people in the back. Take note of your dreams around this time. The 6th house is the area of health. It's the area of our everyday routine. It's interesting because opposite it, the 12th house is the house of sleep. So it's not quite in this house that sleep takes place, but there's something really relevant there for your messages at this time. There's something God is trying to communicate to you. With the moon in reverse, there's something that I feel like has been really unclear to you, especially with the Seven of Cups, that is going to be made clear. This is something I actually just was seeing for Scorpio as well. This thing that has maybe been, or maybe it was Virgo, but there's something where things have been confusing. Things have been wishy-washy, how you feel about things or what direction you want to go into. There's something about your life and maybe even about your career or your work, your day-to-day routine, your health, that may have felt confusing. So if this is like a health thing, for example, it's like, why do I feel so tired all the time? What's going on with me? This is you kind of discovering what that is. If you have been confused about your work and your purpose and where you're moving next, like this could be you having clarity finally around how you feel about something and the direction you want to take it. If this is another, it could be any area of your life though. Those are going to be the things that are most majorly impacted, but it really truly is any area of your life where things have felt emotionally just uncertain for you. Like there's lots of options. It could go in any kind of direction. And I'm seeing you guys really have this level of clarity come over you with this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction. Both of these planets are very much tied to the higher mind, to God, to spirit, to higher consciousness. And so it's almost like this cloud of confusion is going to finally free and the sun is going to come out and you're going to get this download of like, this is it. This is how I feel about this. This is how I want to move forward with this. So if you've been struggling with that, then know that that's there for you. I pulled the King of Cups. Wow, this makes so much sense for you guys. Yeah, the King of Cups makes sense. The next two cards I'm going to sit with for a second. The King of Cups is, again, having this kind of clarity around your emotional experience. This is how I feel. This is how I master and handle my emotions. This is why I work the way that I do. This is how I am in relationships. And these are my trigger points. These are my, oh, that makes sense. These are my past memories, my pains and things that get in the way of my connection. I feel like there's been something in your life with the Six of Cups and the Three of Wands in reverse. There's been almost something where it's like, maybe in relationships or within your own emotions in some area of your life, the past has been really coming up for you. Your own childhood has been almost like getting in the way, or something of the past, at least emotionally, has been getting in the way of you being able to move forward. Maybe you're having a hard time moving on from something, letting go of something, processing something. Maybe it comes back up in your relationships with others. Maybe it's something that pops into your head throughout the day. There's something where it's like almost like you're being tormented by memories or triggers or pain points or sensitivities. And with that moon in reverse, it's like you might not even have seen how much that was affecting you and your dynamics and your path forward and your health. And with it being in reverse, it's like you're finally seeing like how much this was actually affecting you fully. You're finally seeing how you weren't moving forward because of things from the past, and you're getting a deeper like control and understanding and processing over your emotions because of the things that are making themselves clear. It's interesting because the sixth house is often related to feeling like we are it's a house in very old times. It was a house of slavery, and I'm really getting this sense from like an emotional perspective, like you being shackled to your past, you being tormented by your own feelings, the lack of peace almost, and that could be so many emotions. It could depend on what the situation was, if it was a long time ago, if it was recent, but there's a sense that you guys haven't moved forward on something because of these things from the past, these emotions from the past. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm also seeing here with you guys that it's interesting because we got the moon and we got the sun. So you guys are coming from this place of things being in the dark, things being unclear, things being emotionally tumultuous in some way in your life, things having, again, these sensitive triggers, but not knowing where it's coming from, like feeling all these things, but not having total peace or clarity or being able to untangle what you want and where you're headed or what you should do or how you should feel about this or how you should handle this. And with the sun card, it's like it's melting the snow. It's moving the clouds. It's bringing not just the clarity, but it's bringing the joy, the vitality back, the sense of purpose, and so the sense of like instilling who you are into your life. Like, yes, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. This is what I feel. I'm in control of myself. I'm in my essence. I'm moving from this place of passion, this place of vibrancy, instead of being like dodging my own emotional bullets and feeling reactive and feeling triggered and feeling like I'm ups and downs. And I'm really getting the sense that you guys are coming into this place of clarity and peace and optimism and feeling just this really, really strong sense of direction, clarity, and joy. And that's like the biggest gift. There is some cards before this. We have the Five of Wands in reverse and Four of Pentacles upright. I really feel like you guys have been having an internal war with yourself or war with other people as a result of these emotions. So it could have been that things from the past have tormented you and you've been fighting yourself with this, or there could be some fights that you've had with other people. But regardless, whatever this energy of combativeness is, it disrupted your peace, and it's in reverse here. So it's like you're finally releasing that. You're releasing those stories, you're releasing those thoughts, you're releasing those difficult experiences with another person. All of that is just being let go. Like you're holding on to it. You're like, I want to win. I want to resolve this. And then all of a sudden you just like, and like everything just leaves. The butterfly flies out of your hand. There's a sense of release, a sense of transformation. The Four of Pentacles, I think, has kept you small. It has kept you in a mode of self-preservation, self-protection. Let's make sure that we win this battle. Let's make sure that we don't lose something important to us. Let's make sure that we don't risk too much emotionally. There's a sense of like, I have to just keep myself safe. I have to just preserve what I have. I have to make sure that I just don't spend too much money and that I don't take too much risk and that I'm staying here, holed up in my house, and I have everything that I need, and I just have to make sure I'm okay. And there's a sense of that being transformed in a really powerful way into feeling expansive and bright. And this is where I'm going next. And this is what I'm doing next. And I can't wait to try more stuff, do more stuff, because I feel like I can take a certain amount of risks because I'm so much more emotionally stable. The Four of Pentacles could also indicate that self-preservation mode could have done you a service. It could have been that time that you needed. Maybe you needed some hermit time to self-reflect. Maybe you need to budget and save some money. But there's a sense that served a real purpose in your life. It's not something to beat yourself up over. That self-protection mechanism is there for a reason, and it came to give you what you needed in this moment, to make sure that you had what you needed taken care of, your health taken care of, or your money taken care of, or your emotions taken care of. And it let you kind of sit behind the scenes and keep yourself safe and work on the stuff behind the scenes, and then you can burst out into the world. And that's what I'm seeing with this Jupiter Uranus conjunction, your sixth house, which is weird because it's not really giving me strong sixth house energy, but it just feels like you're doing the work, I guess, which is you guys just like doing some of the really important internal work to feel like you can finally take steps outwardly in your job, in your career, in your health, in your routine, and you can finally make really good progress because you've addressed all of these other feelings and things that needed to be addressed. You've resolved things and have created the sense of peace in your life. So let me pull another card for you, an angel message card, angel oracle card. It's up to you. Wow, I just got chills. I've been getting chills in this message with you a lot, especially around the Four of Pentacles. So it really feels like it's up to you how you want to move forward. It's up to you what you want to do. And I think that maybe that has really been hard because maybe some of you guys haven't known what you wanted to do. Maybe some of you guys have felt like the past or emotions from the past are still there and is clouding your judgment. And there's some element here of like the emotions not being fully worked out, or an internal argument, external argument. And it's like, it's up to you for this to be put to rest. And I feel like this is the work that you're doing. This is a sixth house work, is you are doing the work that you need to have clarity, to clear things up, emotionally, to release things, to process things in order to know what that next step is, that right step for you. And it is up to you, but you're doing it. So that's what I really am getting from this. Any other cards? Any goddess? One goddess, please, spirit, one goddess. We have time. So having patience with yourself. These things take time. There is a divine timing to it. Sometimes we are in a state of confusion and not knowing because we're going through a Neptune transit, and it's just not the right time where we're supposed to have all the answers. Maybe we're supposed to turn within. Maybe we're supposed to lack clarity because it gives us a different skill set. It allows us to trust our intuition, or it allows us to ask different questions. Always knowing things, always moving forward. That's not how life is. There's moments where we're recoiling, where we're turning in, where we're asking questions, where we're discovering elements of ourselves and having more questions. So trust the divine timing, trust your process. Do not, I've been meditating a lot recently and pulling cards and journaling. And one of the messages that came through was recently for me was to not, not find flaws in your process as a human. We are naturally going to have ups and downs, make mistakes, not be perfect, but it's a process of learning. And it's not like you would yell at a kid for not knowing everything right off the bat. He's still learning, or she's still learning. They're figuring it out. Do the same for yourself. Give yourself the time, the space, the energy to do the work, and not put pressure on yourself or judge yourself for your process of learning and discovery. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius. Before you move on, I am changing the brand name of this channel, of my website, all that, to Cosmic Clarity Astrology. I'm probably going to change up some imagery of it as well. So if you don't want to miss anything, if you're scared that you might not click on the videos because you might not recognize them, then please join my email list, which I'll link down below, where I do email all my videos along with additional promotions. If you ever want like a discount, sometimes I'll do them on there, or announcements or updates from me, or even more importantly, astrology information that I do find quite helpful. So if that's interesting to you, definitely subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. Comment, and share with your friends. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.